I'm Jake Wilkes here with Firefly Recovery. I'm our director of sales and work with all of our pro and college teams. And I've had the privilege of working with Dan for almost 5 years now. So we're excited to be here today with Dan Bellamy.
I'm Dan Bellamy. I'm the Associate Athletic Director for Sports Medicine at NC State.
What initially opened the opportunity for me to meet with you? And then from there, what made you more interested in the technology?
Well, I think the first thing is I was just open to seeing what was new on the market.
Right.
You know, we were a relatively small school. We had just moved into a new facility, or we're moving into a new facility.
Which was nice.
It is
Very nice. Shout out to UTSA.
Yeah, and I always wanted to just be open to what was new on the market and what might be some cutting edge technology that I might be missing. You know, I've worked at a lot of small schools with lower resources, and you don't always have the ability to get access to things. So I'm always open and curious to try new things. And you know, when you called, I can't remember whether it was a cold call or not, but when you called, I answered and I said, "Come on, you can come and bring some lunch and show something new." But what sold me on it is, honestly, it was just how simple the concept was.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you know, when we talk about recovery and blood flow and all those things, and I'm a big blood flow restriction disciple almost, right? And the concept just seemed so simple and so obvious that it was almost one of those things where you go, well, how hasn't somebody else thought of this before? And so I wanted to give it a try, and it was immediately effective, and it hit with the staff and with the athletes that we use it on. And so that, you know, the rest is history, really.
Should athletic trainers be more keen to new technologies on the market, or open to, you know, to looking and investing? What are your thoughts on that?
It is tricky because I get the athletic trainer side of, you don't have, especially in the middle of the season,
right? You
don't have all the time in the world to listen to every single sales pitch under the sun.
And there's a lot of them.
There's a lot. I mean, there's always. The irony is that the farther I've gone in
your career,
in my career, the more people want to give me stuff and make me try stuff.
Yeah.
And when I was at smaller institutions, people
they were reaching out to Howard all the time.
They weren't reaching out, so I get that side of it. I think you got to balance that with sports medicine is already kind of on the bleeding edge, right, of the evidence. So the level of exploration that we do, I think is natural. Like, it's a part of the space, is that we're always trying new things and trying new techniques that we can validate later, right? And we can produce the evidence as we're trying technologies. And so you have to have at least some openness to, especially if there's word of mouth. Like, word of mouth, it still boils down to people. That's right.
Yep.
And so that's two things. So the word of mouth from other individuals who have used the product and found it not just cool, right, but effective, and seeing value in the technology with their athletes, but also the relationships with vendors, right? And so one of the things that's continued to sustain my my usage of the product, and not just usage of the product, but any relationship with a vendor, has been the relationships that are built around the support of a program. And so Firefly has been very supportive of every program that I've been around. And I don't take, again, being from smaller schools, I don't take those things for granted.
Right.
But ultimately, the technology has to be effective. And so seeing the effectiveness of it and seeing the applications for it and seeing the usefulness of it just, you know, made it easy, made it simple.
Is it a true game changer to have something to provide care in and outside of your hands?
So much of what impacts that recovery is around those
other
hours. We don't
yeah.
see them. So we're able to equip them with something that hopefully creates an environment where they can continue to recover, even when they're not right in front of us in the athletic training room or in the clinic.